video tutorial on eFolio, Portfolio, web pages in TaskStream, and practicum requirements for documentation of events and activities or field-based events and activities. In TaskStream, when you do log in, you go to your main page, which you see here. On the top left-hand side of the page, you'll see the Folios and Web Pages link. During your program of study in the technology course, in your degree program, you are to create a portfolio or an eFolio web page. You have done this before, and so you could use your existing portfolio that you created for that course, or, as an example, I've created a new web page called Mr. Wells' Clinical Web Page to show as an example how one can create a web page itself for the collection of and documentation and eventual sharing out of your experiences out in the field in practicum, and then of course we're leading to student teaching. So how does one create this web page? Well, simply enough, you would go to the top of the screen, you would enter in the name of the portfolio that you would like to create. It could be Jane's clinical web page, Tom's practicum and student teaching documentation. You can always change the name later. It really doesn't matter. However, what happens after you click Create New would be a series of prompts leading you into creating this web page. There's a different video on how to follow those prompts and create your new web page if you've forgotten how to do that. The end result, of course, is a web page that you have access to within TaskStream, and you may edit the content and information. And that's what this web page, this video is all about. Is you've gotten into TaskStream, you've gotten to your portfolio. What are we adding, and what is it going to look like at the end? So my example that I'm sharing with you here is I've got practicum listed out, including student teaching. And let's say I'm in practicum 1. I begin to collect the documentation and evidence of being out in the field. Let's say I conduct recess duty with my mentor teacher. So I would create a link called Recess Duty, and when I'm able, I go in and I upload maybe attachments. Maybe you took a picture when you were completing recess duty out in the field with your mentor teacher in the cafeteria. Maybe it's a summary of your experiences when you were sitting and eating lunch with the children. Of course, whatever documentation. Okay, this is an example. It could be anything. Let's say you went on a field trip and you want to add that in. So I click Add Area. I would type in field trip. I would want to make sure it's underneath the Practicum 1 area, and my field trip link appears, and now I can add attachments, video, whatever I have, pictures that would document my participation in that field trip. Of course, as you move into Practicum 2 and student teaching, you'll be doing the same things. Now, and let's say I wanted to add Practicum 3. I would, under the main title, click Add Area. I would type in Practicum 3, create new, and of course I'm going to have to move that. So, and you can go into the edit section and rearrange and move the area. Let's say I want to move this area so that it's above and below, right? Practicum 2. And you can rearrange it. So the idea here is your documentation of evidence of being out in the field. Eventually you can share that with prospective employers, and we'll show you how to do that as well. So what's the end result look like? You'll have created a web page that will have your documentation accessible in this website for Wilmington U, but also again those out in prospective employers to see what you've done during your clinical components of your program. Of course, the idea of making this your own is part of what it's all about, and you have the flexibility and freedom to do so. So this is how to access and how to start uploading and documenting. Again, there is another video tutorial on how to actually create it. If you've forgotten how to do that, walks you through the whole process. Thanks for listening.